Morning everybody. This is the start of my next adventure in the camper van. Date's 5th of June, so we're heading off down to the West Country this time. First stop's 5 nights, a place called Stroxworthy Farm, so that's not far from Clovelly. Bit of a surprise there, but I won't spoil that for the moment, so that will become clear as we head into the journey, and I update you as things progress. So 5 days there, and then we're heading down to Land's End where my cousin lives. I don't know why he'd got it planned. He was asking me if I had a wetsuit yesterday, which I haven't, not since I windsurfed back in the late 1980s when I was in my 20s. So yeah, trepidation there. I don't know what's going to happen. So 5 days down there, then I'm heading back. I'm going to stay a place near Newton Abbot called Coombe Tide, or Stoke in Tynehead actually, because that's where my father's side of the family come from, right back to the 1700s. So keen to have a look around the gravestones there and see if I can see any records, or at least gravestones for my relatives on my dad's side. And then I'm stopping there in an orchard site for a night, and then the next site prior to coming home is near West Bay in Dorset. I always wanted to go to West Bay, have a look around there, might pop into Bovington on the way back. And there's a particular spot myself and Maureen, my wife, liked, where I might try and scatter her ashes, which is quite close to Corfe Castle. And then back here, so it's nearly 2 weeks. So that would be quite a long stay, longer than I stayed last time in the van. So we'll see how that goes. So I look forward to updating you as things progress, and I'll be in touch in due course. Hi folks, so day one of the West Country adventure. Some here at Wolfisardy, spelt Wolfisardy, down near Clovelly on the North Devon coast. In addition to the camper, you will see I've now got an awning. That was something people up in the lake suggested when I was wandering around chatting to the various people camping up there, and I must say it's been brilliant. It's given me a huge amount of extra space. It took about an hour to put it up, maybe an hour and 10 minutes to get it all sorted, but it means I've got somewhere to dump all my stuff. And in theory, although I haven't actually done it yet, because it looks like it might be a little bit tricky, I can detach the camper and drive off and leave this awning standing here. But it's given me a lot more room now in the camper itself, so I think that's been a huge advantage. It's a lovely spot. Some hills over there. I'm assuming that's Exmoor. I haven't quite got my bearings at the moment. But anyway, the surprise, the reason that I've come here is that I've got a half brother and a half niece, and she's got 2 children, Melvin, Emma, Marcus and Jamie. Melvin, my half brother, lives here. We never actually met. He was from my dad's first marriage. He got married right at the end of World War II, had a daughter Susan and a son Melvin. We didn't find out until we were 16, and there was a chance one of them might have turned up to my grandmother's funeral, so they decided they ought to tell us. It was a bit of a bolt from the blue. Anyway, I never thought I was going to see Melvin. I did see Susan at one of the funerals, so we made contact. Anyway, Melvin's daughter Emma tracked me down on Facebook. She was worried that the setters were dying out, and we made contact about 3 years ago, but of course Maureen being ill, we couldn't actually meet up, but we spoke on the phone. Anyway, so one of the first things I did when Maureen passed away and I was taking off in the camper and said, can I pop down and see you? it would be great. So here I am. So I met Emma on the drive up yesterday. It was lovely meeting her and her son Marcus, and I'm meeting Melvin, Emma, Marcus in the pub this afternoon in Woolsardy. So that's the big news for this holiday. Certainly exciting times. So I will keep you posted as we go. About to cycle into the village now, hoping the rain holds off. It's supposed to be dry today. There was a tremendous shower just now. Pleased to say that the awning hasn't leaked, and neither has the pop-up top on the camper. It was quite pleasant sleeping last night. Very, very quiet here. All I could hear was the rain on the roof, which was quite soothing in a way. Anyway, that's all for now. I will speak to you again soon. Right, good morning folks. Day 2 of my West Country adventure. Torrential rain last night. Everything's still bone dry in the awning. Something I'd just like to point out, I think appropriate for those who are interested in camper vans and awnings, but that space you can see down there between the awning and the camper, they put artificial grass, which was inspired because that stays perfectly dry. So the other thing I have discovered, having a bit of googling last night, if you look at the attachment there where the awning's fixed to the van into the 6mm track, I think that's a Fiamma track. That's quite difficult to remove without collapsing the awning. What I'm going to try and do in a minute is just gradually inch the camper forward so I can slide the beading there on the awning out of the track, hoping that will work. What you actually need is a figure of 8 quick release awning pack. So if anyone not aware of that and they buy an awning for a camper, don't forget to get your quick release awning figure of 8 attachment. Just Google it. Costs about £25, but it makes the whole thing a lot easier because you can just slide out a piece and the two will separate rather than having the faff that I've got. Anyway, so I had a lovely day yesterday. Met up with my half brother, which was brilliant. Spent a couple of hours together catching up on the last 60 years or more, as he was born in the mid 1940s. So that was great, and then went to the pub with Emma and her son Marcus. That was a lovely day, really was. I'm glad we did that. So I'm heading off to Lynmouth now. That's the plan anyway. Forecast isn't brilliant for today, but well, it's England. You expect rain, don't you? See, I was just lucky when we went to the lakes a couple of weeks back. I guess this is more typical of what you'd expect in the UK. But hey, and it's a lovely little site, this one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 caravans this side, with the space for 6, and there's a couple there on the other side because there's 2 pitches either side. The 2 girls living in the camp on the other side are working on a farm. I'm not sure about who's living in the caravan, but it's a beautiful quiet spot. And there's a little shower block down there in the corner. I'll just take you on a quick little walk. I'll try and put the drone up if I get some decent weather. The wind's dropped now, so it's not too windy, but it's probably too wet at the moment. It's still drizzling. Perhaps later I'm moving on to Land's End on Tuesday. But anyway, so there, yeah, you can see behind me. Look, there's a shower and a loo in there. It's heated, really nice. dry, and just round the corner they got a little kitchen with a microwave, no less. So anyway, that's where we are. Right, I'm going to try and separate the camper from the awning, and hopefully that will work, and then we'll be off to Lynmouth. One thing I'm going to try and do is take the van up Pollock Hill, because I like to do the Pass of the Cattle when I go around the NC 500, which is my next trip in Scotland. But I want to know if that van's going to get up steep hills. Somebody suggested use the first and second manual options on the gearbox, and I really hadn't thought of doing that, so I'm going to give that a try up Pollock Hill. So if it does that, I'm assuming it will do the Pass of the Cattle. So the sun's just coming out, so probably a good time to try and move the camper away from the awning and press on. So catch you later. Well folks, that hack worked, much to my amusement. I just very gingerly drove the van forward, and the awning beading came away from the gutter on the side of the camper van. It just slid out as I was driving. I checked it 3 times and drove out very gingerly, just in case I didn't bring the whole thing down and damage the awning. But no, seems to work a treat. So I don't quite know how I'm going to put it back in when I come back, but hey, that's a good way to detach it if you get stuck and you haven't got a quick release mechanism. So there. Hope that's useful to someone. I'll press on. Catch you later. Hi, so we've arrived at Linton. I stopped off at a camping cum garden centre just outside Barnstaple to pick up a few bits and pieces. Grab some lunch there. So now I'm at Linton, parked in the street just up the road from the lift to Lynmouth. Might try that when I head back, time permitting. So I'm just wandering down the cliff path now, down to where the harbour and the river is. Some spectacular views from the top. Quite a steep path, I'll say. Easy going down, won't be so easy coming back up again. Oh. Get a bit of a view there behind me as to where I'm heading. It's quite spectacular. I came here when I was very much younger. Don't remember it at all. Remember the lift up to Lynmouth, but I don't remember this view of the coast whatsoever. Right, so here we are, having walked down to Lynmouth, mouth of the River Lynn. I've only just twigged that Linton's at the top of the hill, and you get the lift down to Lynmouth, presumably, which must be up there behind me somewhere. It's slow on the uptake this afternoon. Anyway, lovely place. Looking forward to exploring it. I'm not entirely sure what all those water jets are about behind me. Whether they're relieving pressure of water from somewhere. I wouldn't have thought they're watering, given that it's been raining pretty much consistently for 24 hours. Anyway, just thought I'd show you. Bizarre. Don't know if you can hear me, that's the Glen Lynn Gorge behind me. And there's an exhibition on the power of water. I'm going to have a quick look round. Certainly spectacular. So unfortunately I didn't get into the exhibition because they don't take card or electronic payments of any sort, only cash. Chap that runs it, quite a character. They're really concerned about climate change, hence not having any computers or any cashless way of taking money, so pound notes only. Unfortunately I only had £4 in coins, so I didn't get in, but I had a long conversation, but it was an interesting chat. So carry on, I'm going to pop over to the harbour and then get the lift back up the hill. A little parade of shops here in Lynmouth Quite quirky little shops, worth a visit if you're down this way. Absolutely wonderful spot this. Got the Lynmouth to Linton Cliff Railway. Just chucking up there behind me. I don't know if you can see all the tracks there. Just swing around a bit, you can see the estuary of the river Lynn, where it comes down into Lynmouth, nestling in the bottom of the cliffs there. Beautiful place. Right, heading back up the railway now to get back to the camper van in Linton. Right, so we're leaving Linton now, and the chap in the water exhibition at the bottom that I didn't get into tells me that the hill we're about to go down between Linton and down to Lynmouth is actually 1 in 4 and steeper than the one that's Pollock Hill. So I'm going to go down and then try and come back up again. Might pop down the bottom and have a quick wander around. Right, so we're going to try the return journey now up the 114 hill. Hill, put it manually into first gear, and it seems to be chugging up here quite happily. I'll probably be working on that coach up front, but hey ho. It is what it is. As well, I think, so it's pretty steep. So there we go. Our little vans cope with the 114 hill. Morning folks, day 6 of my trip to the West Country. So finished here now at Stroxworthy Farm. Just packed up the awning and the camper van. It took me a couple of hours to get everything sorted, so I guess it wasn't too bad. It was raining and pretty windy when I first started. Unfortunately, as the morning wore on, the wind dropped a little and the rain stopped, so that made life a little bit easier. Anyway, all sorted now, so heading off to Land's End. So although overcast, I don't know, the clouds are breaking up. It's got quite warm now actually. It's not too bad at all. So I had a lovely time here. Definitely come back to this site. Quiet. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pitches this side, and there's about, I think, probably 6 the other side, just over there behind me. It's very quiet. If you want somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed, way off the beaten track, your stuff's perfectly secure because nobody can this I'm sure. So yeah, if you want peace of solitude, the showers, the loo, the kitchens, great. And I had a wonderful time meeting up with my half brother Melvin, half niece Emma, and her son Marcus. We went out to Wolseley one day, had a drink in the pub, and then on the Sunday we went down to Clovelly. That was great, really enjoyed that, so I'll definitely be back to see them. So a good time. Right, Land's End beckons now, and then what my cousin Graham's got in store for me. I'll catch you all as the trip progresses.